There we go. And again, there's the PowerPoint presentation in case you wish to follow along. So we'd like to thank everyone for coming to this first ever virtual open house with me and Miss Peña. And there's we have the privilege of teaching your son and daughter this year, doing this crazy year. And we know it hasn't been easy for you guys too. And we just want to thank you for cooperating with us. And, through everything, we're almost there. Just one more month and we can survive this virtual school year. Before I continue though, Ms. Gonzalez has a short message that she wanted to relay to you guys. So let me go ahead and get that for you.
There's no volume.
I think you're not sharing your sound.
Is it, can y'all hear it or?
No.
Okay, it's Jacob's Jams. Let me just fix this. I'll get rid of that. Okay. Let me try sharing the sound again and we're good to go.
Hello and welcome to our Silva Open House for 2021. Thank you parents and students for being here with us for our open house. We know that this year has been a tremendously different year from any other school year, and we have relied so much on our parents to be able to help their child be successful. First of all, thank you so much, parents, for all that you have done for your children this year to ensure their success in learning. Open House is a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to meet with your teacher and learn about the expectations for this year. With only 2 months to go, it is a great opportunity to be able to know what it is that we still need our children to work on to be ready for promotion by the end of the school year. It's also a great opportunity for our teachers to highlight our students' successes. So once again, thank you so much for joining us for our open house.
And then right now, here's a short
Hello,
little
parents.
message.
Welcome to our Hello, parents.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome to our 2020-2021 Leadership Open House Night. Today, we will be showing you our practices of the 8 habits that we practice here at Silva Elementary. Thank you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Bye. Till next time.
Habit number 1 is about being proactive. Being proactive means that you are in charge of your actions for what you do and say, and you do things without being asked or when no one is looking.
The second habit is begin with the end in mind. It's all about how you should think about your goal and don't give up. Like when you're determined to do something, you plan ahead, with a clear mind, and you achieve your goal. That is the second habit, and I hope you have learned from this video.
Habit 3 is put first things first. Let's say that when you come home from school, you want to play basketball, but your parents tell you first you have to do your homework. You have to do your homework before you can play basketball. That's called putting first things first. Once you do your homework, you can go play basketball, and that's basically what first things first is all about.
Habit 4 is one of the most important habits out of the 8. Habit 4 is think win-win. As an example of think win-win, you and your friend are getting into a fight. Let's say you guys don't want to talk to each other after a while. Think win-win means to turn situations around and go for the win. If you guys are fighting, you might be able to turn this around by thinking win-win. You could turn the situation around and both you and your friend will have a good friendship again.
Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. I listen to others without interrupting. I raise my hand when I want to speak, and wait patiently to be told on. I don't break out. I try to understand other people's views and feelings, even if they are different from my own. For example, I do not interrupt people when they are speaking.
And I'm going to do habit number 6, which is synergize. And what I'm going to do is work together with friends and students who need help in breakout rooms and Zoom meetings, and I'm going to help them get the questions right and help them what they needed to do in math problems, what they need to do in reading problems, science problems, writing problems, etc. I'm gonna do those things too.
Habit 7 is mostly about sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw means, like, if you had a long week from school, rest, and when you're rested enough, take some time with your family.
Basically, what the 8th habit is find your voice and inspire others to find theirs. Voice is Covey's code for unique personal significance. Those who inspire others to find theirs are leaders needed now and for the future, according to Covey. So basically, that's a brief little explanation for what the 8th habit is.
So thank you to our Junior Lighthouse team for doing that. We even have some of our very own that participated and contributed to that great video. So kudos to you guys. So just a couple of reminders for our class expectations. Parents, we do require attendance for both classes. There have been some instances where students attend the morning, but in the afternoon, they're unable to attend for whatever reason. So if you can please help us out to ensure that your child attends both the morning and afternoon. So that way, which leads to the second bullet, completing the assignments daily. And then also we do require for cameras to be on during instruction. However, me and Ms. Peña are very lenient. The cameras do not have to be on for the entire period. But we do ask, when we do daily check-ins, that the cameras are turned on. That way we can see that your child is there during instruction. Do you want to add anything to that, Ms. Peña?
Yeah, and the reason for this is we do check-ins. I know that some of the children, they're going through an awkward stage, and maybe they just don't feel comfortable being in front of a camera, and we understand that. But the point for a check-in is if they do have a camera off, and we ask, okay, everybody do a check-in, we do expect for them to turn on the camera so that we know they are there participating, being active, and with their learning. Because some of the times you can be calling on a student that has their camera off, and we're going to be saying Missy, 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 and Missy never turns on her camera. So what is there for us to assume is that the child is logged on, but not there present for the classroom. So those are reasons why if you do have them off, we do ask for them to do a check-in.
Mm-hmm. And next one here. Here's some of the student work that we've had here. Oops, sorry.
These are just some examples of some writing that they've done in my classroom. And then in the next slide, you're going to be seeing where the students, where can the parents find their child's classwork. You can find them through ReadWorks, Edpuzzle, Nearpod, Classroom, Google Dots, and Google Slides. Those are the platforms that we use. And of course, we have many more that the children can see, especially if you go through our Google Classroom, there's going just to ask them to show you your class work. And then they're going to be all the assignments that are there listed where it can say submitted or missing.
Mhm. And that's one of the things also during open houses. I mean, right now we have plenty of student work, but we're very limited in space. So if you wish to have your son or daughter show you more, everything can be found in Google Classroom. Like I know for math and science, we use ClassKick and Legends of Learning and Ed Galaxy, and all of those you can see what we do daily with your child. And in the next slide, here's some of their videos that they have posted up on Seesaw throughout the year. If you wish to take a look at it, when you guys look at the presentation, if you just click on the sample videos, you can see the kind of work that they're doing. And then here's some of their math and science activities. We had them build a robot using quadrilaterals. In the beginning of the year, we were making sun diagrams with the numbers.
Okay, and here's iStation. iStation is still playing a really important part in your child's education. Our goals is the main thing is for at the beginning of the month for the child to take their iStation test, and then the assessment will let me know, okay, what tier are they on? Your tier 1 is those students that are not struggling. They're meeting grade level criteria, and they are just maintaining, they're doing well. Tier 2, they might need just a little bit of help, and those students are going to be logging on at 45 minutes per week. And then tier 3 is a student who is struggling, who needs a little bit of extra support, and so the iStation will accommodate that support through there, and they will be working on those objectives 60 minutes per week.
And for math, these are two of the main programs that's pushed by the district. Reflex is to help your child with the basic facts and multiplication division. Moving forward, going into 6th grade and onward, basic facts are huge. When they start going into more complex, like to algebra and everything else, everything revolves around the basic facts. So if your son or daughter has 100% fluency on reflex math, they're on the right path for that. To make the math make more sense when they get up there. And Imagine Math is another program that we use to kind of get a little benchmark range. What are the strengths and weaknesses in the subject for math? And I know it's not listed here, but for science, we do have STEM scopes and Legends for Learning that we also use to help out for science. If you wish to have a one-to-one conference in regards to your child, it could be about how they're progressing in their classes, any missing work, or if you have any questions about the STAR test, kind of anything. Our conference times are from 2:30 to 3:15, but if you're unable to make that slot, just let us know, and we'll make time to accommodate your schedules at any point, if you have any other questions. And then also, we do encourage you to take a look at our elective schedules. We do have PE, music, and art. The students are required to attend electives after mine and Miss Peña's class. I believe it's from 2:30 to 3:15. Am I right?
Yes. And it is mandatory, and we do encourage the children because they are having a low turnout for electives. So we just encourage the students, school's not over until you are done with electives. And even after electives, between 3:15 and 3:45, that's their asynchronous time, which is the time where they can be working on any assignments throughout the day that they haven't finished. Homework can get started. And some students have been asked to log in for tutoring. And so those are important things that they need to continue until 3:40.
Mm-hmm. And we want to thank you guys for making the time out of your busy schedules. I know everything's hectic, but we just appreciate me and Miss Peña. I appreciate you guys for fitting us into your busy schedule. At this point, your child can show you around the quick websites on Google Classroom. If you like to see more in detail of what their daily assignments are. But that's pretty much it.
Are there any questions, general questions that we can ask or that you need to ask? Anybody? We thought we were going to have some STAR questions.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jacob's mom. I just wanted to know about the STAR. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So that's optional, right? Like he doesn't have to participate?
Yes, ma'am. It's optional. It will not affect his promotional criteria. The STAR test has nothing to do with the promotional criteria. This basically is going to be for those students that basically the state is just trying to collect data to see what, how COVID affected the students' learning. Basically, it's for data.
And it's completely up to the, oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add that it's completely up to the parents. The only thing we would need is just like a yes or no, if you wish, but that's about it. But the STAR test, like Ms. Pena said, has nothing to do with promotion, retention. If they don't choose to take it, nothing's gonna happen. They just want to see the education gap from last year to this year.
Thank you.
It is worth to note that the students who are on campus, I believe, do have to take the STAR test, and then the ones who are remote do not. That's as far as my understanding goes for that too. Are there any other general questions that anyone has? Well, if there's no more questions, that's all our presentation is. And our sign-in, we're able to see who signed in. Melanie, I'll take care of that Google Classroom error. I'll try to fix that. Like I said, in case you want to see the presentation links, they will be here. And if there is an error, I'll be able to fix it right now. But other than that, thank you guys again so much for coming in and letting us be part of your afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Bye.
Miss.
Bye, sweetie.